Superhero Stuff You Should Know is part of the Greenlit Podcast Network.
Hey, this is Ben from Superhero Stuff You Should Know, and I have an important announcement for you guys. At the end of every single episode of Superhero Stuff You Should Know, you might hear us shout out to our fans, one of whom is Matt Herring, who was one of the original Superhouse fans. He's always given us his support, and now it's time that we support him. We've just recently found out that Matt has been diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And as a cancer survivor myself, I know personally that there's a lot of emotional and financial strain that comes into that. His wife, Kelly, has set up a GoFundMe account at gofundme.com/f/Matthew-kicks-cancer039s-butt. And hopefully you can help reduce the financial strain to that, as well as some of the emotional strain that comes with that. Again, that's gofundme.com/f/Matthew-kicks-cancer039s-butt.
Matt Herring was the first, I guess you could say, true Superhouse fan. We were Superhouse at that time. You know, the first fan of this podcast and what we do here, and has always supported us, talked about us, and he's from a town close to where I'm from, and so we share that as well, and just a huge superhero fan, and, you know, nerd like the rest of us, and now he's going through that, and if you could donate just at least any amount of money to that link that Ben just said, that would be truly appreciated. Just hang in there, Matt. You'll beat this thing soon.
All right, I brought you all here today because Big Blue fucking kicked the bucket. Do you have any fucking words?
Oh man, brother, it's a big total bummer. I always thought the Boy Scout was kind of lame, but I'm telling you now, it's starting to bring a little bit of a tear to old Lobo's eye.
Well, I'm in a bit of a conundrum here because as Metallo, I have a kryptonite heart, and I can't really use that on anybody. It kind of takes the fun out of everything, if you know what I mean.
Well, I'm Mr. Mxyzptlk, and I'm gonna give you a real heart right now.
Alright, well now this looks a little disgusting because I still have a metal body, but a human heart beating into it. I don't know how long I'm going to let. Oh, okay, I'm feeling the darkness.
Whoa, man, that's super metal. Look at that shit. He's got a thumping bloody heart inside of his metal shiny chest.
Is it possible to get a human body with this heart?
Now I'm gonna watch you suffer for a few minutes.
Oh, you bloody wanker.
I'll keep you alive, though, don't worry.
Even worse.
Well, we said our words about Superman were all real cry, sad, but what are we gonna do now, Mr. Mxyzptlk?
I need you to carry the fucking coffin.
You brought us here to be pallbearers.
Yeah.
Well, your big-headed magic ass could probably make another person to carry one corner or something. I don't know how that works.
I'm on the ground now. I can't carry shit.
Honestly, I need some fucking entertainment. It got a little boring in the 5th dimension, and I just need to see you two fucking idiots carry this log with Big Blue in it.
Holy Christ, my big-headed bro. How the hell did Soups ever put up with your little ass?
He didn't.
How did he get rid of you?
Huh?
How did he ever take you down? That's what I want to know.
I'm not telling you that.
I think he might have told me.
What?
Maybe I shouldn't have said.
No. I'm gonna change your heart if you say anything.
Change it back to kryptonite. That'll be even worse for me. It'll be very painful.
No, this is some Briar Rabbit shit happening. No, I'm not falling for that.
Briar Rabbit, how old are you?
What, that's not a popular phrase in this generation?
Maybe a little bit of the old reverse psychology on the noggin there, but Briar Rabbit.
I'm the smartest guy here.
Fucking Aesop's Fables.
Yeah, that's one of them. So, are you gonna carry the fucking coffin or not? Because the rest of the fucking league, I got them somewhere else. I don't want them involved with this. Specifically, I want you two numbskulls to carry it, just so I can throw peanuts at you while you do it.
Kinda morbid, I guess, you know.
I'm the Zack Snyder version of Mr. Mxyzptlk, and I'm dark as fuck.
I don't know who that is. I didn't even make it into his movies. But you kind of have to give me the kryptonite heart for me to lift this coffin.
What do you think, Macho? I mean, whatever your name is. Should I give it to him?
It's Lobo. Just do it. I'm getting kind of grossed out looking at this human heart thumping in his chest.
Fine.
Oh, that's much better. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now here's the coffin. Go get it.
All right. And Lobo, by the way, it's getting his name to be spelled backwards. Is Kill T something.
What? No, shut up. Shut up.
What? How do you say it backwards?
It's like Kill T. I don't know. What is it again?
Nope.
Kill T.
Nope.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to pronounce it for us. We're kind of slow.
What do you take me for, a boob?
Well, that head is big and shutty like what? I can see how people would get confused with that big shutty head of yours. You take that head off, there might be a nip under there. Have you had enough punishment? Enough bullying from the old Lobo? Are you ready to pronounce your name backwards, you bald-headed boob?
You know I have unlimited magical powers, right? From the 5th dimension?
Well, do something about it, tits for brains.
All right.
So you've literally turned him into a tit, and now I have to carry this damn coffin.
Well, you have super strength, right?
I guess so.
Chop, chop, motherfucker.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
It's fucking wonderful.
That saved.
Eat some fucking peanuts.
What?
You piece of shit.
Beautiful, Metallo, beautiful.
Oh my God, he
talking
talks.
boob.
This is the nicest knocker I've ever seen. Thanks, Mxy. Going down to the Metropolis Strip Club to make me some dough.
We finally reached the end, the final Justice League member to be recruited, and of course, it's Superman.
Wow.
And we couldn't think of a better topic, a better hero to come back in Resurrection and Hope. And we're back in person for those who are seeing us on YouTube. It's good to be back in person. This is once again Ben with me. Now across from me is...
Vaxxed up and waxed up. I'm ready to do it, everybody.
And then, of course, joining us from across the country, as usual, is...
I, Zachary Jackson Brown. And I'm wearing a
A name of
Spider-Man shirt today. You
consequence.
know, I thought that was appropriate since we're going to talk about Superman.
I know. I have a Superman shirt, and I fucking don't have it on. Well, the next one. I'll have it for the next
You're wearing
one.
what Clark would wear around Smallville.
Yeah, right? Yeah, this is it. Perfect. Thanks. Thanks for the save.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are releasing this on June 14th. That is the 8-year anniversary of Man of Steel, so I thought that would be appropriate.
Man,
For
8
this.
years already. God.
Timing works out pretty well. I'd say
Yeah.
that, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's been, as we said, 8 years since that, and we couldn't think of a better way than to dive into the death and return of Superman as covered in the Zack Snyder movies, Batman vs. Superman and Justice League. But we're not just going to cover that. We are specifically comparing the many different versions of the death and return of Superman. His death at the hands of Doomsday, the other superheroes who attempted to take his place, and his inevitable resurrection.
You can't say he's too powerful if he's dying all the time.
Yeah. So here are our candidates. We have the original Death and Return of Superman comic book arc, obviously. That's the one that started it all. The first adaptation, which was the animated movie Superman Doomsday. And then the 2-part animated film, The Death of Superman and the Reign of the Supermen.
Yes.
And, of course, the Zack Snyder movies that we've covered before, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. So we'll pit each of the major story points against each other, see what they have in common, vote on which one we like best, and at the end we'll tally it all up. Keep in mind we did not include every single adaptation of Doomsday fighting Superman, only the ones where Doomsday kills Superman. So that doesn't include the Justice League cartoon. We're not covering Smallville. On that, we are saving that for the Patreon. It's only the comparison of the comics versus those specific adaptations.
So get it right.
So here we go. How did the story come about? Do you guys know how they decided, hey, let's kill off Superman in the 90s?
Well, it's very dark in the 90s, and they want to just kill as many people as possible.
I think I heard that their sales were falling, right? As far as Superman goes? That just the title wasn't selling as well?
Partially, they had planned a major arc. That
Okay.
was something that was completely different from what they ended up doing, which was Clark Kent was going to get married.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
December 1990 is the 50th issue of Superman post-crisis. And at this point, they're just like, hey, we want to do something big. Clark Kent is going to propose to Lois Lane. And she's going to say yes, not knowing that he's Superman right now.
Oh, okay, yeah, they still hadn't done that yet.
A month later, they finally do it, something that Siegel and Schuster actually intended back in 1940.
Oh, shit.
But never got the chance to do.
Okay, because they were against it even then.
Yeah, DC was against doing that. They're just like, that's going to wreck the entire dynamic of Lois and Clark. So instead,
She's supposed to be abroad, and
she's supposed to be stupid.
she's supposed to be dumb, and Superman's supposed to be smart. We all know
This is
women
how
are
it
dumb.
works.
Actually, I don't think they were like that.
No.
Not as much as Bob Kane.
Yeah, I was about to say, this
Probably
is
not.
Bob Kane's voice you're speaking with now.
Yeah. I think Siegel and Schuster probably at least 1% more progressive than Bob Kane.
Well, I mean, it's not Siegel and Schuster who.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to do this. It's
Yeah,
DC
yeah,
that said,
yeah.
like, hey, no. Let's
Oh, that's
not
right.
have
You're
the-
right. You're right.
So Clark does end up saying, hey, I'm Superman, and does the shirt rip in front of her. And she's like, in some way, I feel like I've always known all these 70 years or so that this has been going on.
Somehow, do I have face blindness?
Maybe. That'll be the explanation. They said, let's lead up to Lois and Clark getting married. We want Superman to get married to Lois finally after
Yeah,
all
the
these
women, they
decades.
don't recognize faces.
And in this other element, yeah. There's just one problem. A new Superman TV show is about to hit the 90s, which is probably the major presence of Superman in media of the 90s.
The greatest of them all.
Lois and Clark, the new Adventures of Superman, starring Dean Cain. and Terry
Starring Dean Cain. Kevin Sorbo's best friend.
Hatcher.
I'll leave it at that.
The idea was to focus on Lois and Clark's relationship in that, and DC was just like, well, hold on, if we have them get married now, but the TV show comes out, the TV show traces everything from the beginning, what if we held off on that and had them get married at the same time in the TV show as they do in the comics?
Perfect.
They're like, that's great.
Actually smart thinking.
It is smart thinking. However,
once.
it's like, well, what the hell do we do for a year or so?
We kill him.
Well,
We kill him, see? And then
You're not wrong.
it's going to come back.
you're not
Don't
wrong.
worry.
So they have to come up with a new storyline, and the writers at DC, who have been mandated, hey, they can't get married right now. They're just like, well, that was our whole plan.
Yeah.
What the hell are we gonna do? And so they have to brainstorm, and out of frustration, they joke, let's just kill him. And that goes
Whose
from
suggestion was that?
that goes. I don't know. They don't say. But
Bob Kane came
it
back.
goes from
What if we kill Superman?
it goes from being a joke to being a serious idea, obviously, or else
Yeah.
we wouldn't have this.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
editor, Mike Carlin, says in the intro to this novelization that I have here, he says, quote, what better way to show people that they had not only been taking an American symbol of greatness for granted, but taking a viable, worthy role model out of circulation through their indifference.
Okay.
So they were trying to make a sort of point. I think even these days, we talk about how, like, these days people are like, oh, we don't appreciate Superman, he's too powerful and stuff, but that sentiment was still around in the 90s. There's just like,
Oh, definitely. That was
don't
probably
care.
the peak at
Yeah.
that in the 90s. I
It's-
don't know why the 90s were so dark.
Yeah, they're just like, this guy doesn't belong. He's outdated character and that
Yeah.
stuff. And they said, well, what if we play upon that? What if we
Okay.
show you how he's relevant again? So this was their way of doing that. And what happened?
Show them
was,
how he's relevant by killing them all. They're playing 4D chess over there,
Yeah.
man.
everyone's playing checkers. Almost playing checkers.
They're playing checkers. DC's playing chess, baby.
So what happens is a cultural phenomenon
Okay.
that shocks everybody. People who were not
was
talking about
big.
Superman before. People who in the press never really covered any comic book shit are just
Yeah.
like, oh my god, they killed off Superman. The issue is Superman number 75, written and drawn by Dan Jurgens, and it's the big battle between Superman and Doomsday. Famous, ends with Superman's death, and released on a black cover with a bloody Superman symbol.
Yeah, people would buy 2 or 3, one to open, and then
Oh,
one
I've
to
got
save.
I've got one I've never even opened before.
Really? Worth $12.
I'm saving it for a rainy day.
College fund for your kid.
Yeah.
So they sell, according to Les D'Angelo's The Complete History of Superman, they sell 6 million copies. It's
6. Yeah, it's huge, right?
it's amazing. Yeah,
Actually,
in terms of how
not
much
just
they make.
this, but there were in the 90s, comics sold really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like compared to now, which is like weird because they're the most popular they've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
But even before COVID, like comics are like kind of like they don't know what they're gonna do.
I don't want to hold that icky paper in my hands. I just want to see it on the screen.
Or I don't have to pay for another service. I've got Netflix.
Right.
You
So
know?
the press of the 90s, as I said, aren't familiar with the comics, and they treat this as if Superman is dead for good. I can't believe they killed Superman.
Yeah.
And, 6 million copies or so, and this ends up becoming the overall storyline. After it finishes, has a whole variety of different adaptations. The first being this novelization that we have here in the video. You guys can see it, but this is the Death and Life of Superman by Roger Stern, who was one of the collaborators on the comic. That's actually how I first experienced the story, was through this book rather than through the comic book. There was a junior novelization called Superman Doomsday and Beyond by Louise Simonson, who was also a contributor.
It's just basically the same thing, but written for a younger audience?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you read that one too?
I have not gotten a copy of it.
Oh,
but
shit.
I imagine it would probably be
rare.
this, but in a shorter version.
It's worth $13.
But here's the more interesting one, is that they adapted that junior novelization into a 2.5-hour radio play.
Okay.
That is the most faithful version of this. And it has some actors who you may be familiar with once I tell you who they were. So Stuart Milligan was Superman.
Strangely enough, Tom Welling.
Tom Welling was around. Tom Welling.
He wore the cape while recording.
He was
the
young
radio
Clark
one.
Again, but at like 2 years old.
He's the ultimate troll, Tom Welling.
Stuart Milligan was Superman. Now, who's Stuart Milligan? Stuart Milligan plays the President of the United States in Wonder Woman 1984. He's the guy that Maxwell Lord is like, what would you wish?
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah.
He was Superman, and he was the first actor to do the Death and Return of Superman.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a hell of a pull, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He plays an evil white dude really well.
Speaking of evil white dudes, the next guy was William Hootkins as Lex Luthor.
You are good at segues, by the way. Whatever the
Effortless.
fuck random shit I say, you are. I've noticed this over our recording. Have you noticed this, Zach? He's good
yes.
at segues. Yeah, you have. Okay, good.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So speaking of evil white dudes, Lex Luthor here is played by William Hootkins, who, by Star Wars fans, they know him as Porkins, but Batman...
I said a William who now?
Hootkins.
Hootkins,
Yes.
okay.
William Hootkins, known for being Porkins in Star Wars, but also known in Batman 89 for...
Lieutenant Eckhart.
Yeah, he's Lieutenant Eckhart.
Hey, the drinking Drano. I always think of that.
Lieutenant Eckhart was Lex Luthor in the radio.
Oh, shit.
And then Jonathan Kent, and I think Perry White as well, is played by Garrick Hagan, who was Biggs Darklighter in Star Wars, but also Harold in Batman 89. Now, who's Harold? He's the dad in the opening of Batman 89 trying to get the taxi.
I didn't know he had a name.
Harold, please get a taxi.
His name is Harold.
Yeah.
Oh.
She said one of the first
She
lines
does,
is,
doesn't she? Yeah.
For God's sakes, Harold, like, can we please get a
Oh,
taxi?
shit,
That's the
right.
first line of Batman 89.
What's the taxi driver's name?
The taxi driver, they don't get a taxi driver.
They never get a taxi.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
They get mugged by, do you know the names, Zach, of the
Oh.
muggers?
I know that one guy just made action figures of them, and I can't think of their
Oh,
names.
The Don't Leave
The
Home
guy on
Without It.
Instagram.
Those guys?
American
God,
Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Dude, that's obviously, I think we're all in the same boat. One of the best scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like when you're watching,
are-
especially as a kid, it was like, oh my God.
I know they're talking about a guy named Johnny Gobbs, but I don't know what their
Yeah.
names are off the top of
Their
my
names
head.
are Nick and Eddie.
Nick and Eddie.
Nick and Eddie,
Okay.
according to the script. But they're
Damn.
not called that in the movie. But Harold is the name of the dad, and he was also Biggs Darklighter, and he's also Jonathan Kent in the radio play. So again, deep dives.
Damn.
Deep cuts.
They kept in rotation, huh?
Yeah, I know. Garrick Hagan would also go off and play the first voice of Ra's al Ghul in the BBC
shit.
radio drama
First
The
one
Lazarus
ever.
Syndrome. Yep, this is before BTAS.
Did they say Roz or Raish in that adaptation? Did you listen to it?
I believe it was Roz.
It was Roz.
I've
Okay.
listened to it. I believe it was Roz. I'll have to re-listen again just to make sure. I think it was the animated series in the 90s that was Raish.
Copy that.
So again, radio story, hands down the most faithful adaptation of the comic, and we will include the YouTube link in our show notes
Oh,
in our
shit.
website so that you guys can check that out yourselves. But for the purposes,
Superhousepod.com is where you get the lovely show notes
Yep.
that are curated, made, whatever you want to call it, by Ben.
by myself, yes.
Yes.
So for the purposes of this episode, though, I won't be including the radio play or the novelizations because they're pretty much the story. Like from what I've read and explored, there's not really a ton that's added. It's not quite like when we did No Man's Land and there was the Greg Rucka novelization that had like full-on scenes that weren't in the comic.
Okay.
So that's stuff that we'll skip, but we'll definitely have another exploration of those BBC dramas of Superman and Batman in the 80s and 90s in like a future Patreon episode. So
Okay.
But let's dive into what are the adaptations we're going to do. So first one is Superman Doomsday from 2007. This is the first visual adaptation of the storyline, since the other one was a radio show. This is the Bruce Timm production, and different from Justice League, because Justice League did do a storyline with Doomsday, but they didn't kill Superman in that one.
Was Doomsday created for this Death Superman arc in the comics?
Yep.
He did not exist beforehand, right? Yeah.
They're like, this is the only possible person who can kill Superman.
What's his name? Doomsday, motherfucker.
They didn't want Lex Luthor to just have, like, I have an even bigger rock.
I feel like he's kind of
kryptonite.
I feel like he's kind of like Bane for Superman. Like he was
Yeah.
created specifically for this big story arc.
Yeah,
I would say so, too.
I guess you'd have to.
If you think about it, thematically, they're the same story.
Oh, right.
Because also, Batman gets taken out. He doesn't die, but he might as well get killed by this huge hulking monster.
Yeah,
Then there's a replacement who isn't quite the same
Right.
in that role, and then Bruce has to reclaim the mantle.
That was after, though.
This
Death
was after,
Superman,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. But that was there. In my mind, Nightfall is like the death and Return of Superman, but for Batman.
Yeah, I could see that. The same story beats.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, so we're not counting the Bruce Timm Justice League storyline because they didn't really quite do it, but Superman Doomsday is their first attempt at doing this.
Okay.
Dwayne Capizzi and Bruce Timm were credited on story, and Capizzi is the writer. Unlike the comics, Lois only suspects that Superman and Clark are the same person, but Superman isn't ready to tell her. And then he dies. And then afterwards, when he comes back, then he tells her, by the way, I'm Superman. It's like, I know that. So they kind of messed around a little bit with that aspect. And then the next adaptation is, of course, Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, which we extensively covered, along with Zack Snyder's Justice League, which we also very extensively covered for 5 episodes.
I think we covered it.
Written by David Goyer.
I think we need a part 6 to that, actually. I think we should just keep going.
Zach wants to talk about Eisenberg's Lex Luthor a little more.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Only if he grows the Amish beard that Lex Luthor has in this comic that I forgot about. I was flipping back through it, and I was like, whoa, Lex got a new hairstyle. It was totally threw me off. So
Yeah.
Zach, by the way, your intro to the show should be, "Hey, I'm Zach, and when I said Batman Forever, I meant it."
I got to remember that next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that the next time. We'll
It's
do that
Batman
for
Forever.
A Batman-related episode.
That's right.
So
That's right.
as we covered, Lois knows that Clark is Superman from the very beginning. There's no double identity with her in the Snyder continuity. This has been going on since Man of Steel.
We reached a certain level of social progression.
Yes.
And Bob Kane died, and we figured out women recognize faces.
I also don't think, I think Snyder just wanted to be like, let's just have her from the very beginning, already knowing him before he even becomes Superman.
What if,
like Smallville?
What if Zack Snyder has good ideas?
I think we
Way more than people give him credit for.
Yes, we proved that
Let's think about it.
in our cover.
Scratching his head.
No good ideas. I'm going back on everything we've said so far. I'm hopping off the Snyder
Take it away.
train.
It's taking away his points.
Clark, in this version, Clark was planning to propose to Lois. If you remember at the end of BVS, Martha ends up showing the ring to Lois. Which I would argue is even more tragic because at this point he didn't even get a chance to propose
Yeah.
on that. Then knowing that Lois is pregnant, or
Yeah.
she finds out that she's pregnant with somebody where the father is dead, that's heartbreaking. So
Stay out of the sun, Lois. You're gonna have a hole in your belly. From baby kicks.
oh yeah,
I thought that was just a general little bit of advice you were gonna give. Just stay out of the sun. You're very fair complexion.
You don't need vitamin D. It's overrated. Move to Norway for half the year. That's a section that what's his name asked Stan Lee, even though it's Marvel, in Mallrats. What's his name?
What does he ask?
He asked that exact question.
Oh, I see.
He's just asking random comic book questions.
His
About
name?
Norway?
No. About he's like, what if Lois gets pregnant?
I
you know, or what about Doctor Doom or whatever? He asks us like a slew of questions.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just pulled from that randomly.
Gotcha. Well, as you said, Lois does have a fair complexion, but she's also a redhead, and in the movie played by Amy Adams, and she's kind of drawn with reddish hair during the Death and Return of Superman arc.
Yeah,
so I thought
yeah.
that was interesting on that.
She's usually brunette or black.
Yeah, she's usually just like jet black hair.
Jet black,
Think like
yeah.
Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
And just the Fleischer cartoons.
It was jet
Very
black, right?
hair. Yeah, jet black hair.
That's probably easier to animate too, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
Because
Think about you got Clark, who's also got jet black hair.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Just like it makes things easier.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next one is The Death of Superman from 2018 and Reign of the Superman from 2019. So, Death of the Superman was written by Peter J. Tomasi, big comic book writer, so that was pretty appropriate, I'd say.
He's writing Rebirth, or he was.
He's been doing Rebirth comics.
Yeah. He's
So,
good stuff over there.
this one is part of the DC animated movie universe that adapts the New 52, so it almost kind of fits in the storyline into the New 52 universe in a weird way. And we've already covered 2 films from this continuity. That's Justice League War and Justice League Throne of Atlantis on Patreon at this point.
Throne of Atlantis. It was okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right.
It's no Aquaman.
It's no Aquaman. You know,
Stirring
it's fine.
review.
We're gonna cover it, but I'll tell you right now, it was all right.
It was all right. Ringing endorsement. And
Yeah.
thank you for joining us today on our show.
Maybe skip that episode. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. No, definitely listen to it. Definitely listen to it.
This version stays more true and faithful to the original storyline, I would argue, than the other versions. Here, Clark and Lois are engaged beforehand.
In Throne of Atlantis. Wait, which one are we talking about?
We're talking about the death of Superman,
Oh, we're going back to that.
the
yeah.
topic for today.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
So,
I started thinking about Momoa again, and I just went off into
something about
You
that.
talked enough about Atlantis. We gotta get back to Superman.
I know.
Arthur, for goodness sake.
You're the king of Atlantis.
We are royalty.
Dude, you're fucking... How long are we going to scratch each other's backs on this episode? But man, that shit's hilarious, dude.
My favorite
both
was
every
the sea turtle line. I don't know.
Yeah.
It took me a while to listen to it again because you had sent the link and then I missed it. And it wouldn't open anymore. And then I finally heard it with the episode. But yeah, it's like... I don't know why I said that. You're just going to drop trow and lay a sea turtle right here in front of God and everybody?
Strangely, and again, we're sucking each other's dicks right now. I
Yes.
get it. But I think those are some of our best sketches.
It's all right. Nobody listens to them. They're like skipping forward, like, come on, let's get this shit over with.
Maybe I should put chapters in the description.
Thank you for the time codes in the description, Ben.
We did get thanks, and I'm just like, I'm glad that it pulled off. Somebody's doing the time codes, but why are you also doing the time codes?
Please leave us a fucking comment if you actually do listen to the sketches. Because they're the hardest part to edit, man.
I feel like Dr. Schreier's like, which part am I in?
I'm done. And a skip. Don't mind if I do. Do mind if I don't. Clickety click.
I think I like that we just do it for ourselves, really.
Pretty much. Oh man. Oh shit. It's good to laugh, everyone.
Yes. I think this one, though, is probably the most faithful version of the storyline, the Death of Superman 2018 movie. Clark and Lois are engaged, and Clark decides, I'm going to tell Lois the truth after talking to the Justice League about it. And he tells her the truth right before he goes into the fight with Doomsday.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
So, also in the film and in the original comic, both Jonathan and Martha Kent are alive in this, unlike Superman Doomsday, where it's just Martha, or the Snyder films, where it's just Martha.
Right.
This stays true to post-crisis, where both Jonathan and Martha Kent were alive when Clark becomes Superman, which I personally prefer myself. Film ends with the Superman's death, but the second part, Reign of the Supermen, from 2019, continues the storyline and goes into that whole thing with the Reign of the Superman, which we'll go into in a bit.
Eliminator or whatever.
Jim, what?
Eliminator? What's his name? The guy with the glasses?
Eradicator.
Eradicator. Yes, Eradicator. Yes.
So that one
He's
is written
cool.
by Jim Krieg and Tim Sheridan. So now that we have the setup, those are the many different adaptations. Let's go a little bit then into what do you think is the most tragic setup when it comes to Lois and Clark before Clark dies? Is it the comics where they were engaged and Lois knows a secret for a little bit? Is it Superman Doomsday where Lois suspects but Superman never really gets to tell her? Is it Batman vs. Superman where Lois and Clark have been living together for a while and Clark doesn't get to propose and he dies before even proposing? Or is it this last one, Death of Superman, where he does finally tell her and then he dies?
Zach?
It's going to be a toss-up between Batman versus Superman because we all know Snyder as a what do you call him, Andrew? A dark boy, and
Dark boy.
he just loves the tragedy and the suffering of his characters. So
Yes.
I think him not being able to propose and her finding out later from his mother is particularly tragic. But I do like what you said in the 2018 adaptation that he is like just revealed his secret identity to her, and then he goes off and dies. So I think that's probably pretty powerful. I have not seen that one. I've seen Superman Doomsday, but I have not seen the latest adaptation, the animated one.
Reign of Superman?
I haven't seen that or what was the Death of Superman?
Oh, yeah. I think the Batman vs. Superman one, maybe.
The fact that he
some
doesn't
reason.
even get to propose?
Yeah, and they're living together too, so there's like kind of a ramp up. But it's also the other option is he's proposed, but they don't get further after that, or he proposes and then dies.
Instead of the reveal of the secret?
Yeah.
Got
Well,
it.
anyway, my
Well,
answer is Batman vs.
For
Superman.
the- yeah, because
yeah.
the
Sorry.
other option didn't happen in any of the adaptations.
Right,
so
right.
Going with Batman vs. Superman, I pretty much agree because I think that there is what makes Lois's storyline so poignant in Zack Snyder's Justice League is just knowing that and her going through her mourning period and that scene with Martha, who's really Martha Manhunter.
Yeah, Martha Manhunter. Why is this the first time I'm hearing that? Yeah.
But it still doesn't change the fact that the emotions she's going through are so tragic and poignant due to the fact that she really did know this man
Okay.
for so long. You know, it wasn't just like, oh, she just found out the secret.
Yeah.
I think in some ways it depends on which perspective you're coming from. If you're coming from Superman's perspective, right? Him telling her right before going into the fight with Doomsday is almost probably the most tragic version from his perspective because he like finally got to experience what it was like to be out in the open with the woman he loves.
Right.
And then he's got to go and die.
Yeah.
But from Lois's perspective, right, it's less of a shock and more of a full-on mourning period because she spent time with this man. She knows him. She knows his full history. They live together. Then he goes off and dies, and she's left finding out that he was going to propose, and she's pregnant.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I would say I agree with Zach. It's kind of a toss-up between the two, but I would say the edge goes to Batman versus Superman.
Isn't that wild? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
We weigh all the options, and Snyder's got
Snyder
the best
wins.
one in this case.
Yes.
Maybe not all of them, but yeah.
So Snyder won. Others 0.
We're still doing
We're
it.
still doing it.
Whedon 0.
Oh man. Yeah.
So let's go into the origins of Doomsday.
All right.
Because as we said, Doomsday is specifically created in order to kill off Superman. So let's go into it. Do you guys know the origins of Doomsday just offhand? Just in general, outside of what we saw in BVS, because obviously that
Wasn't
was their
always
version.
Zod.
It was not
No.
Zod at all. No.
Well, actually, Zach, you go. Sorry.
Oh, I don't remember much. I thought he was like somewhat experimental and was from a different planet. That's really all I can remember. I don't know if he was created on Earth or not, but I remember it being kind of like an experiment gone wrong, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't it that? But it's Kryptonian DNA, though, right? If not Zod.
He's an ancient Kryptonian deformity, as Lex
Ooh,
said.
we covered this.
A good
Kind
old
of,
fashioned.
yeah.
A little bit, yeah. So, in the original storyline for The Death of Superman, Doomsday's origin is a complete secret. He's just kind of randomly in captivity, breaks out with his fist that keeps growing, the bony protrusions. He's in this green getup with red goggles, which is carried over into the 2018 Death of Superman animated movie.
Okay.
The origin itself wouldn't be covered until 2 years after this. In 1994. This is well after Superman's come back. He's back with the mullet, all this type of stuff. Well after that.
I believe the greatest Superman that ever lived.
There is a
black suit with the mullet. It doesn't get much better than that.
It's amazing. I was very tempted to grow out my hair.
Into a mullet?
Into the mullet for this episode because it was kind of getting there, and then it was eventually just like, I don't know how you do it.
Take a while, man.
I'm like, I don't. Yeah,
you could just get a wig, save some time.
I should have just
good costume mullet.
Yeah, you should have gone a costume mullet.
Well, I guess we're redoing this episode. See you guys.
Yeah.
Next time.
We'll just Photoshop it in.
Yeah.
CG it in.
Yeah.
It'll look better than what they did with the mustache in Justice League.
You got too hot with long hair?
The what?
You got too hot with long hair? Is that what happened?
It's just the feeling of the back of my neck being covered.
You don't like it?
Yeah. Just in
It
general.
doesn't bother me.
Well,
It is
you're
hot,
used
though.
to it.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm used to this length.
Yeah.
Anyway, Superman with the long hair. There's a storyline called Superman Doomsday Hunter Prey. And that's where they go into the origin, revealing that Doomsday was created 250,000 years ago.
By who? The Owens?
By a scientist named Bertrand.
On ancient Krypton.
Now, Bertrand does not seem to be Kryptonian because he looks like the little green men type alien.
He's an Autobot.
He's
one of the Greys.
He's a Decepticon. He's a Decepticon.
Bertrand!
Doomsday. He's an Autobot. Doomsday, roll out. He was trying to create the ultimate form of life because he wanted to be a god. So he's like, in order to become a god, I must create the ultimate form of life.
Just a lot of racial purity kind of shit in DC, I'm noticing. After Atlantis and shit.
This is less race related and more of just like, I want to create something immortal.
Okay, so he wants to be a god maker, kind of. Which is an insane concept,
because
by
that
the
makes
way.
him even more
Yeah,
powerful.
If he's a god maker, then shit, you know what I mean? That's insane. That's an insane position to be in.
So that's what he wants, and he works on this for over 30 years. So there's a baby, I presume a Kryptonian baby. So he takes this baby, this poor defenseless child, and he throws it out into the wilderness to get killed.
In the Kryptonian wilderness.
Yeah, in the Kryptonian wilderness.
Okay.
And then he takes the baby back and he clones it and throws that one out to get killed. And then he does that over and over again, kills this baby tens of thousands of times.
This is insane.
It creates, until he's able to come up with what exactly he needs to put into it in order to make it unkillable.
Didn't historically the Spartans would leave their baby out too in the cold?
I think that's
something?
the legend from 300. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 300 portrayed that, but they based it likely off of
some sort
real
of
legends
some
and
sort
stuff,
of real legend, or a real legend, but not an actual history.
Maybe
probably.
not like the maybe not.
Yeah, that's maybe a little bit too much.
I feel like the Kryptonian wilderness has got to be some wild shit. It's like pink skies and neon Dr. Seuss landscape with like
the Lorax
weirdo aliens. Yeah, weirdo aliens running around.
Isn't the Lorax environmentalist too?
Yes.
He's the first Kryptonian
He's
scientist.
a Kryptonian.
You have to save this planet. It shall perish in 250,000 years. Shut up, you fucking piece of orange shit.
Marlon Brando's like, that's the version I wanted to play. Just do the voice for him.
He's a bagel. Lorax, but bagel looking.
Well,
oh man, that fucking
in here.
Superman 78 coverage was fucking insane.
Oh yeah. And now we're back finally in the format that we had for Superman 78.
Yeah,
so
we're back.
Glad to do that.
We're back, baby.
This scientist Bertrand, he kills this thing tens of thousands of times until it ultimately becomes what he calls the ultimate. That's the early name for Doomsday. But he basically just looks like the full-on Doomsday at that point because he's created. He's killed it enough times that he's unkillable.
Is it a baby Doomsday though?
No, he at this point he looks like full-on Doomsday. Though that would be adorable.
Zach, please draw a baby Doomsday.
I know they
That's
did a
all I
baby
want.
Darkseid, but I'm like thinking of a baby Doomsday in my head.
There is a baby
Doomsday.
Darkseid, isn't there?
In some new
There is, yes.
Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo comic.
Yeah.
I think Batman has to take care of him too.
Death Metal or something like that. Yeah, he's got him in a little papoose thing around his chest there.
to change your diaper.
I'm going to put green shorts on you, and we shall fight crime together.
You're an orphan. There's a solution for that.
There's a solution for that. Here are some green fairy boots. I have the best ideas.
You're the target. Let's see Joker fare against this.
You're probably bulletproof, right? We'll go out in the field and test it.
So Doomsday somehow has all the memories of his previous selves getting killed by Bertrand. So once he's unkillable, he ain't happy. So he goes off and kills Bertrand.
So actually, Doomsday is an Autobot.
I guess. So Doomsday goes out and creates this whole wave of destruction, ending on the planet Calaton, where he gets defeated by this being of light named the Radiant. But we won't go too much into it.
The Radiant.
Yeah. And he supposedly is killed by... But again, the thing with Doomsday is you try to kill him with one weapon, he just gets resurrected, and now he can't be destroyed by that thing that you killed him with. So if you shoot him, he might like bleed from it, but then he's bulletproof after that.
That's cool. This is Doomsday, right?
Yeah, this is Doomsday.
And Calaton is a neighboring planet or some shit?
Calaton is another planet that he ends up on. And somewhere along the way, he ends up on Apocalypse and faces off against Euxis.
Oh, well, you would have to do that.
Yeah, the future Darkseid.
Doomsday
But
versus Darkseid.
Yeah.
Clash of the Titans.
apparently, he almost killed Darkseid. So
The Darkseid did beat him.
Darkseid did beat, or at
He
least
probably just
he
used
got
a
away.
boom
He
tube
got
or some
away.
shit. Yeah.
So you wait, Zach. You are totally Team Doomsday.
Oh, yeah.
In this. Interesting.
In this case, yeah, because Darkseid, he does kind of think out sometimes. He'll just use that boom tube and get out of there.
I call that being smart, Zach.
But it's not the true spirit of a warrior. He says he's so powerful and godlike, and he had to go jump in a boom tube to run away.
So when Doomsday supposedly dies, they wrap him up in that green outfit and the red goggles and chains because that's actually their burial ritual. in this version from the planet Calaton, and then they ship him off.
I'm sorry. I'm for some reason I'm interested in Calaton. Anybody else from Calaton?
Not that I know off the top of my head.
Okay.
That's where they did
the Radiant.
That's where the Peloton bike comes from.
Yeah, I know.
Calaton.
The low-hanging fruit, man.
We killed Doomsday, and also we'll get you in shape.
Tasty fruit, yes.
If you want to defeat Doomsday, get a Peloton. Peloton, we are open for other sponsors.
Batman training sketch.
Yeah.
That only us will listen to. Only we will.
That's some crazy burial outfit, though. You know, it looks like his hands are tied behind his back. Like they're thinking he's going to come back. That's weird.
They wanted to basically contain him so that his essence wouldn't go into the afterlife.
Oh.
That's why
there's a way to do that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they didn't want his essence to go to the afterlife, but turns out he ain't dead anyway because they ship him off and he lands, of course, into the core of the Earth for several decades or hundreds of years, and then he ends up breaking out just in time to fight Superman and kill him. So during the big fight, Doomsday is named Doomsday because Booster Gold says, quote, it's the arrival of Doomsday. So technically, Booster Gold names him. He wasn't called Doomsday before.
Well, shit, man.
But I would argue Booster Gold comes from the future. So does he say the arrival of Doomsday because he's talking about metaphorically, or does he know who Doomsday is? And he's like, oh shit, it's the arrival of this Doomsday.
So there's a grandmother paradox.
There you go.
With the name of Doomsday and Booster Gold.
Potentially. That's me reading into it. They don't play it off like that in the comic, but that was me reading it being like, wait a minute.
They probably forgot. Correct. They probably forgot Booster Gold was from the future when they wrote it. It's like,
if it was Guy Gardner saying that, then sure. But when it's Booster Gold, I'm like, wait a minute.
Where's this blue guy from again? Blue and gold. Fuck it, whatever. By the way, there is a lot of Booster Gold fans out there. It's insane.
They want that Booster Gold TV show or movie.
Yes. What is the look? I like them. Okay, but is it mainly because of that Justice League cartoon episode or two that he was in, or is he just has a huge presence in the comics?
I think it's the Justice League International comics, really.
That's really it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he is funny. I get it.
He's also kind of like a PG Deadpool, if you think about it. Like he's comedic.
Yeah.
Sometimes breaks the fourth wall in a way.
Yeah.
But he's again a PG version. Of that. So that could be why.
I'm just surprised because he's currently, I'd say, C or D lister.
Yeah.
Like overall,
I feel like once he gets in movie, especially if you get like a big name comedic actor in there.
Yeah.
He's now A-list.
Another Zachary Levi type, somebody that's originally a comedic person. Yeah.
It would be cool. I'm not a fan of Booster. I don't know.
You like Eisenberg Lex more, so.
Now get him to play Booster Gold. We're talking then. Like I like.
He's twitching too much to fucking travel through time, I think, bro.
Yeah.
He's gotta, you gotta be calm for that.
Yeah.
I like him in the Justice League Unlimited cartoon, but I wouldn't want to see like a whole series about him. But maybe I'm stupid, and if I watched it, I would like it. So maybe I don't. Maybe I don't know what I need. So
A call to all Booster Gold fans.
I don't know what I need.
Call to all Booster Gold fans. Let us know in the comments, and you can tell Zach if he's stupid.
Dude, you invited this shit. So I'm gonna apologize to Zach. I'm sorry, Zach.
I won't read the comments this time.
Yeah, maybe skip that one. Skip that one like our audience skips the sketches.
Yeah. We should just throw a sketch in unexpectedly. Just somewhere in the middle. Not quite in the middle.
In the middle of a sentence somewhere.
That'll get him.
We're switching it up on you.
So the biggest thing to remember is
Dr. Fate, it is I, the Spectre, and I have come for your cheese sandwich. That shit looks incredible! It has been too long since I've had such a delicious morsel, and it just so happens that you not only have the powers of cheese sandwich making, but also the ability to send said cheese sandwich into the astral plane. And if sent into said astral plane, I can finally eat said morsel.
Spectre, your request has been considered. There is only one problem. It is my cheese sandwich that you are asking for.
So you are refusing to send me that cheese sandwich?
It is my cheese sandwich. Need I remind you, I have also not eaten in 50 years because when I remove this helmet, I am no longer Fate.
We find ourselves at an impasse of the cheese sandwich variety.
If only I had bought more bread and cheese at the market to make more than one sandwich. Feels like that would have definitely solved some things.
Hey guys, this looks fucking great! Nom 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 nom. Alright, see you later! That guy shows up out of nowhere all the time. So we find ourselves at yet another impasse. I will follow you on the astral plane to the supermarket.
Follow me, Spectre, as I open the astral plane into Whole Foods.
Ah, yes. What cheese did you get again?
Of course, I got the sharp cheddar. Never mess with the classic.
Indeed. The Spectre loves his cheddar sharp.
Yes, indeed. And what bread would you prefer?
A nice brioche would do fine.
You have good taste, Spectre.
No one's worried about this bucket on your head.
It's what gives me the power to bring us into Whole Foods.
You must be a regular here. Okay. All right.
Now that we have all the ingredients, let's go to Tommy over here. Tommy, I have returned with a friend for ingredients for my sandwiches.
Hey, man. Nice to see you back here, man. All right. That's going to be $57.32.
Tommy, is this sufficient currency?
That's enough.
Thank you. You can keep the change.
Looks like there's no change. This is exact, but yeah, sure, whatever.
You'll keep the change next time when I have more money. Anyways, to the kitchen, Spectre.
Finally, a grilled cheese from Dr. Fate. Never seen such beauty, such lush cheesiness.
Very well. Fate has intervened and fed you.
Oh my god. Incredible.
Unfortunately, during our time with this cheese sandwich, the world has been taken over by evil dictators. It seems like fate should have intervened.
You know, we'll get to that. Right now, there's some grilled cheese sandwiches we should be eating.
Spectre, I think there were a few evil men who needed vengeance upon them.
We'll get to it. It's fine.
Indeed, wizard. Welcome to the astral plane.
Yes, indeed. And what the fuck? Most of the bloody world has gone to fucking shit. We're going to have to do some time fuckery or something for this. shit happening. This is real bad. What a world. Mad Max put it all together, and
Great movie.
what could be the reason that you have not intervened, Dr. Fate? And you, I see you as well. The Indeed Wizard sees all. You two alone could have stopped all of this. I don't have the magical power for this.
Oh, our bad. We were eating cheese sandwiches.
Wait. You're eating these stupid cheese sandwiches? That's the reason there's nuclear holocaust happening?
Indeed, Wizard, we have not eaten in 50 years.
Well, they do look absolutely scrumptious, but we're going to have to do some time fuckery and get back to it. Join me in the hat, combining my magical coconuts with the Spectre's ability and with the Naboo thing that you have on your head. We'll figure it out. It'll be better than the Speed Force thingy. So, yes, chop. Let's do it right away.
I will bring the sandwiches. Sandwiches, come.
Ah, yes, I see you're making them float with you. Perfect. I'm going to need one as well.
Boston Brand, you will be condemned for all eternity.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Don't tempt me. Do not tempt me.
So let's go into the adaptations then of the different versions of Doomsday we've seen. Superman Doomsday kind of stuck to the original comic in saying that they didn't know who he is. He's not explained. He's not said to be specifically Kryptonian either. He's basically seems like he's a horrific lab experience. They shipped off and they hope that they would get rid of him, and he ends up crash landing on Earth, thousands of years ago, until Lex Luthor's Project Apple Core ends up finding him in the middle of the Earth.
Project Apple Core?
Yeah, because he's trying to get the core energies for his own energy
trying
project.
to defeat 90s Steve Jobs, who's already not even part of Apple at this time.
So they kind of leave it a mystery. So I would classify this as mysterious origin for Doomsday. You just never find out.
Okay.
In the Superman Doomsday continuity.
Okay.
Next one is, of course, Batman v Superman. We cover this extensively in 4 episodes, 4 or 5 episodes. Zack watched the 5th episode, I guess. Doomsday is
Not enough.
Lex
Not
Luthor's,
enough.
Doomsday is Lex Luthor's attempt to resurrect General Zod and turn him into a weapon against Superman in case Batman fails to kill him, which of course happens.
Is that the first time Zod was made into Doomsday?
Zod
probably?
directly is made into Doomsday. Yeah, yeah.
It's a great though, within their little universe they had.
It fits.
Using the characters they already had.
Yeah, and then
Great.
to use that again to resurrect Superman.
Yeah.
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 Makes sense.
It's great.
So here, Lex names him Doomsday. You're Doomsday as he emerges. This Doomsday comes out pretty naked. He doesn't have the bony protrusions yet, which
Yeah.
did get criticized because some people were calling him like an orc.
But he
stuff.
did get him though.
Does get him
during the
developed.
fight.
Yeah,
Yes.
because he gets nuked. He gets blown
Yeah.
up. Like he becomes the more traditional Doomsday.
Yeah,
by the end.
yeah, which was cool.
I feel like that's excusable.
Yeah.
It's also revealed that he is not the original Doomsday. The Kryptonian computer references a previous version during the time that Lex decides to create it. And Zack Snyder confirmed that the ancient Doomsday does exist and destroyed Krypton's moon, Wegthor, which we brought up
Wegthor,
in the
yes.
Man of Steel coverage. So
Or
check that out.
Wegthor.
And then last but not
Did he
least,
jump from Krypton to Wegthor?
He hopped on
probably
that.
could, honestly.
Did he, So he
Yeah.
has powers even under that sun.
I mean, he is pretty powerful.
It's got different rules
This
than
is
Superman
a good.
does.
That's a good point because he's technically Kryptonian,
Right.
but if you put him on Krypton, he'd still destroy everybody. It's not like he.
So he's got powers outside. So he's amplified under Yellow Sun probably. But he's already got
Probably.
insane powers anyway.
He rode that
So red
Peloton
light-
to the moon. That's how he got there.
The red lights won't do anything on Doomsday, huh? Probably.
I mean, let's say you take away his super strength. He still has regular strength, and I still wouldn't want to mess with that. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like him at quote unquote normal strength is like twice as much as like the toughest dude on Earth.
Right.
So that's still like pretty bad.
By the way, speaking of this stuff, it's so I found out a little bit too late in the game probably about this, but if Superman's under a red light, then kryptonite doesn't do anything to him, right? It's the combination of yellow sun.
That's true.
The yellow sun energy, the thing that gives him his power, is also the thing that gives him the weakness to kryptonite. But
True.
you give him kryptonite under red light, fucking nothing. Probably.
Right.
Well,
So
I
you
don't know how
wouldn't
long the
weaken-
exposure to red light is. Probably depends on the writer, but
Right.
like the way this is all balanced out is really kind of interesting, I think.
Could be interesting. You save Superman from kryptonite by shining the red light on him.
Yeah, right? Because red light just removes the powers. It doesn't necessarily hurt like kryptonite does. Kryptonite doesn't necessarily...
Unless there's an overexposure of it, which we saw in Superman and Lois.
Yeah. Oh, right.
So, interesting. There's probably some comic storyline where he gets saved from the kryptonite with the red light.
Somebody must have had that already. Yeah.
The death of Superman, Doomsday has a very different origin. He's created by Darkseid, as revealed in Reign of the Superman. This Doomsday was set from Apocalypse to kill Superman specifically so that Darkseid could make way for his next invasion, since he tried beforehand in the Justice League War movie.
Okay.
So he's discovered in the ocean by Atlanteans and Lex Luthor's scientists, and of course Doomsday kills the Atlanteans and Lex Luthor's scientists and then goes off on his rampage.
Okay,
so, we have multiple different origins for Doomsday. Which one do you think is the best? Let's recap. So we have the ancient Kryptonian clone who got shipped off from Peloton. And then we got Superman Doomsday, where it's not really explained. We got BVS, where it's Lex Luthor resurrecting Zod. And then we got the death of Superman, where it's just like Darkseid created him. So, Zach, what do you think out of those?
Even though I haven't seen it, I actually like the idea that Darkseid created him. Because he's already gray, I just figure he looks like he could come from Apocalypse. I kind of like that he's actually would be like this creation of Darkseid. So I don't know, that sounds pretty cool. Otherwise, I like the more mysterious origin where we don't really know what he is. I think that makes him a little bit scarier. And I do like in Batman versus Superman the fact that it's all tied together within their universe that they've created. I just don't like that he is only around for a little while. It's kind of like the same problem of having Venom at the end of Spider-Man 3. It just is like you see him for maybe 15 minutes and then it's done. I just feel like it's kind of he's wasted as a character, but it works in that storyline. His origin does.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Andrew?
Peloton.
So the original comic.
The original, yeah. I mean, I like them all, but
me too.
The Calaton. Calaton is where it's kind of ambiguous as well, though.
What part is ambiguous?
Oh, never mind. No, but yeah. Sorry, it's so much back to back really quickly. But yes, I like the Calaton one.
Okay, so the original one where he was a Kryptonian clone that kept getting killed and re-killed.
Oh, yes, I do like that one. Yeah.
Then he ends up on Calaton, and they kill him. And
by Bertrand.
Yeah, from Bertrand.
Yeah. That's the Decepticon guy.
Yeah, Dan. Yes.
No,
Dan
that is cool.
Kimmel,
yes, that is my answer officially. Yes, okay. I did like that one. Yes,
it would be so cool if Granny Goodness tortured him though. You know, I could see the same origin of a clone and everything, but you can just see Granny Goodness torturing a little Darkseid-ish baby and then becoming the big monster. I don't know. I could just see it happening on Apocalypse.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too. I do like the simplicity. Of Darkseid creating Doomsday.
That is true.
However, there's just something to the idea of it feeling to me like a perfect origin with the whole clone getting killed and re-killed thing in terms of explaining that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It has the really mad scientist thing that pretty much always works. Mm-hmm. You know?
I think so. So it's been... my vote is for that. So that's 2 against 1. Sorry, Zach, but we're going off the comic.
You're wrong.
We'll see in the comments who's wrong.
I don't know if you want to see them.
Those Booster Gold fans are going to
come in droves, dude.
So we are at comic 1, everyone else 0 right now for the Doomsday origin. Find out what's going to happen in the death of Superman after the break.
Hi, I'm Ray, and this is my friend Alex.
Hi.
And we do a show called No More Whoppers.
Some call it corn, we call it therapy.
We're adults with the virility of men.
Want to hear us read snack food copy and talk about Japanese chips? Too bad!
Join us every month or so on the Greenlit Podcast Network.
Lord have mercy, y'all. Do you like hounds? Do you enjoy pooches? Do you find yourself enjoying time spent with that of canines? Talking about dogs, y'all.
As you might have heard, Superhero Stuff You Should Know has now teamed up with BarkBox. For every month, you get a box for your special canine.
Pooches.
Or hounds.
That's right. 1 free extra month if you go to barkbox.com/superherostuffpod.
Follow the link and you'll get a free extra month valued at $35 and valid for all multi-length plans.
So get the BarkBox for your hound, for your pooch, for your canine.
Your doggo will thank you.
So let's go into the comic book version of the Death
Okay.
of Superman. Doomsday goes on a cross-country rampage, and he ends up fighting not Superman first, but the Justice League. Now,
Okay.
I want to preface which Justice League this is, because this ain't, the Justice League Unlimited. This is
It's the Z-listers.
Guy Gardner,
Okay.
not as a Green Lantern. He's been kicked out by the Green Lantern Corps at
What?
this point. So he's
was-
using like a yellow ring, or
He
like
was
his
too
own power
mouthy.
ring. Yeah, I think so. Fire and
for
Ice.
for the Owens.
Fire and Ice, Blue Beetle, the Ted Cord Blue Beetle,
Okay.
Booster Gold,
Okay.
Maxima,
I don't even know who that is.
Bloodwind, who is actually not Bloodwind. He's actually Martian Manhunter in disguise. So technically, we do have an original Justice Leaguer.
Spoilers for 20-year-old comics.
Which 20-year-old comic?
30-year-old comics, sorry.
As well as, she's not part of the Justice League, but Supergirl does try to help out at some
Okay.
point. But this is the main core that
This
tries
was
to...
the Justice League at this time.
At this time, yeah. Partially due to the Justice League International comics, yeah.
Okay.
Which are
all right.
fun, but I still wouldn't have them try to go up against Doomsday.
Out of this roster, who's everybody's favorite?
Oh man, this roster.
Yeah. You're having a tough time.
I mean, Martian Manhunter, obviously.
Okay,
But
okay.
like,
Yeah,
he's
his
not
alter
known as
ego is
Martian
pretty
Manhunter.
cool.
Yeah. But there is a real Bloodwind, though, because I was looking up and just like, is he just for some reason disguised as Bloodwind?
Bloodwind sounds like the Image Wildcats character or something. Image Comics,
It sounds like an Image comic character.
or it started out as Image anyway. Yeah.
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 So, I guess that's
Probably
my
blue.
vote.
That's such a 90s name, Bloodwind.
Well, for why too?
Probably
We
Blue
just spelled
Beetle.
all
Of
Ys
course.
with an I.
Of course.
Blue Beetle.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying
I
this
think-
just
I
to
think out of
spite
that one.
Zach, but I'd go out of this
going
group.
with
I'd go with Booster Gold.
You got with Booster Gold. I knew
out
it.
of this lineup.
So,
Oh man.
Superman is on Cat Grant's talk show when he hears about this Doomsday massacre, and he springs into action. Doomsday nearly kills the Justice League Z-listers because
Well, they're all
why not?
Z-listers.
Yeah.
No offense to the Z-listers that don't exist, but
And then we have an amazing moment where Doomsday is in a department store and he hears this wrestling promo event being like, "Do you like to fight? Fight the greatest, and just watch us have the greatest fights in this wrestling ring. Come to Metropolis." And Doomsday's like, "I like to fight. I'll come to Metropolis."
this is how they set up
It's
the
like
fucking
Macho
motive.
Man Randy Savage.
Yeah,
Wait.
brother.
Just let's preface this real quick.
Yes.
I never read this run, even though it was on the Reddit sub list of recommended readings, because I was so into Superman, I didn't want to see him die. Okay, so I was too emotionally attached to read it, and so you're telling me
what you
that
missed out
in
on.
one of the most epic Superman runs of all time, the villain's motive is this
Is this
just
wrestling promo?
stems from this wrestling promo.
If it weren't for WWE,
I'll show you a
Superman would still
picture
be
of him.
alive.
This is ridiculous.
It's the blonde guy with a mustache. That's Macho Man Randy Savage right there.
We have this guy to
And Hulk
blame.
Hogan.
We have this guy to blame.
That's
He's
right.
Yeah, he's the reason why Superman's dead.
This is ridiculous.
I don't know why they thought this was the best motivation, as opposed to it just following Superman home. You know?
he wants to be the last Kryptonian or something, something like that.
mean,
Not
to be
this
fair,
fucking wrestling promo.
They didn't know that he was Kryptonian at the time, or they hadn't come up with his origin yet, because they're just like, we need some big guy to kill Superman. Let's just do this version.
Do you have a rewrite coming up in later on this episode? Because I want to hear the Ben 1 rewrite.
I think
this.
the rewrite is in the adaptations.
Okay. All right.
Would you like to hear the dialogue that he's saying on the TV
Yes.
to Doomsday?
Oh,
Yes.
Or the Doomsday
That's
hears?
all I want to hear.
Okay, so they're fighting in Lexmart, by the way, and
Lexmart,
this is what's playing on the TV.
Hey, you! Yeah, I'm talking to you. Come closer. You don't want to miss a single moment of the greatest spectacle in the history of professional wrestling. I'm talking tag teams. I'm talking steel cages. I'm talking knockdown, drag-out grudge matches. I'm talking about War Bash 9000. This weekend at the Metropolis Arena. I'm Mayor Mayhem, troopers, and I'm out for blood. I'm talking on the mighty gorilla. Hold on. I'm taking on the mighty gorilla, Ugly Ben Studley, and the Mass Bone Crusher. And I will prevail. This time it's war.
You know what? I take it back. I love it.
Oh, man.
No notes.
And he's just saying it's at the Metropolis Arena.
Imagine if Snyder put this in BVS.
Yeah. Everybody'd be like, man, Snyder, what are you doing? And he could, as always, he could be like, look at the comics, man.
Yeah.
So obviously this didn't make it to any of the adaptations.
Oh, man,
tell.
dude.
But Doomsday's like, I want to fight. I'm going to Metropolis. So he comes to Metropolis, and Superman dukes him out. And Superman's like, let me try this. And so he tries to grab him and fly him up into the atmosphere. But Doomsday fights him off too quickly in order to get all the way up.
Okay.
Superman.
So he tries to leave the city, not do any city damage.
Yeah.
In this.
That type of
Okay.
thing.
All right.
So Superman, due to the fact that in post-crisis, part of his power is sort of this layer of invulnerability that he has on him. That's how he can go through different explosions and his costume's still intact.
Okay.
As opposed to the other explanation where it's a Kryptonian cloth. Now, obviously, in some ways they do a combination of it later on, but Superman's costume starts stripping off due to the fact that his powers are being depleted. He's using up too much of his energy, so that shield is no longer there. That's why you see him all tattered in the famous images that we have here. So they fight in front of the Daily Planet building.
Like you do.
And as you do, because that's the best place for you to fight. It's in front of a newspaper. And Superman, I gotta punch him real hard in order to kill him. So Superman and Doomsday punch each other so hard the windows of the Daily Planet shatter.
Oh, yeah. Sonic boom.
It's a death punch for both of them. So Doomsday dies from this, and Superman is dying, and Lois goes to Superman, and he's like, Doomsday, is he? And she's like, he's dead. You saved everybody. And Superman dies in peace in one of the most iconic images and endings in comics.
Yeah.
So let's go into the different adaptations of this that left out the wrestling stuff, which is the best part, obviously. But Superman Doomsday, the comic book version happens at night. The comic book version happens during the day. The Superman Doomsday sets it at night.
Yes.
And Doomsday mainly fights the military. There's no Justice League. There's no Supergirl here.
Okay.
He mainly fights the military. It's a Superman-focused movie.
Mm-hmm.
Superman fights Doomsday on the streets, and Doomsday makes him bleed in a very dark moment that you guys might remember, where blood splatters on Lois Lane's face when she's nearby.
This is a DC animated movie from what year?
2007.
2007. Okay, I actually think I might have seen this, even though I didn't read the comic.
Big surprise there. Too many words, I expect.
I don't like words, man.
Zack didn't see the Death of Superman, Reign of Superman, so...
I've seen a great deal of the animated ones. DCAU.
DCAU, yeah. But they didn't really do the storyline on that one.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so...
Oh, yeah, these movies are outside of the DCAU.
Yeah.
The Timverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Superman sees that Doomsday is about to kill a little girl, and so Superman grabs him, flies him out into space, and he's more successful than the comic book version. He flies him out of the atmosphere, then brings him back down, and that ends up killing both of them.
Epic suplex.
Yeah. So Lois finds Superman and tells him he protected them all, and Superman's last words are, "Good, that's all that matters," and then he dies.
Okay, yeah.
BVS.
Cowboy death.
All right. So, like in Superman Doomsday, this happens at night, and he mainly fights the military. Before he ends up fighting the DC Trinity, joined together for the first time in this entire continuity. So instead of fighting the Z-listers of the Justice League of the 90s, the Doomsday fight brings together the DC Trinity.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool. And then Lois Lane helps Superman get the Kryptonite Spear, and Superman says goodbye to Lois, saying, quote, "This is my world. You are my world." And then he flies off with the spear, spears Doomsday. Doomsday stabs him with one of his bony protrusions, but Superman impales himself further just to kill him. Doomsday sacrificing himself in the vein of King Arthur and Excalibur. Check out our Patreon episode where we cover that influence.
Yeah.
So then lastly, the Death of Superman movie obviously covers the death of Superman. It's in the title. The fight happens during the day and then goes so long it goes into night. So they did the ultimate compromise here of doing that. Like in the comic, the fight happens across all of the United States, not just in Metropolis, like in the previous movies.
Yeah, I think that's a good addition.
I think so too.
Because with beings at this power level,
Yeah.
you're going to be all over the place, and there's going to
All of the world.
there's going to be city damage.
Yes.
At the because of Doomsday, right?
Yeah.
It's just going to happen.
Doomsday fights the traditional Justice League. So we have the A-listers here.
Okay.
Hawkman, Green Lantern, The Flash, Batman, Aquaman,
Hell
Martian
yeah.
Manhunter, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, and
Fire and
Doomsday.
Ice.
What?
No.
Fire and Ice.
No.
They're not here.
Maxima. She just grows big, right? She's like an Atom Man kind of thing.
I think that's Giganta.
Oh, what's
She
Maxima?
looks like an X-Men knockoff. I've never heard of her, and when I looked at her in the comic, she looks kind of like a random X-Men character to me.
She's another warrior woman type,
Yeah.
basically.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know that much more about her, but anyway, I think it's more impressive when Doomsday nearly kills the A-list Justice League as opposed to Booster Gold and Bloodwind.
Yeah, he could just like walk through them. No offense to our Booster Gold lovers out there, but
So Superman has to face off against Doomsday. This is the only adaptation where Superman's suit is as fucked up as in the comics. In
Yeah.
Superman Doomsday, it's mainly his cape that gets ripped off, but his suit is pretty much intact. And then
so even the
BVS
comic
is stabbed.
even the comic in '92,
Yeah.
that is supposed to be his suit is a Kryptonian kind of armor kind of thing.
Well, it's his it's his power.
It is his power.
It has that layer of protecting that I was talking about.
So even in '92, it had changed from something that his mom sewed or some shit.
The Kryptonian blankets thing, yeah.
Yeah, the blanket thing. It was already shifted from that.
Yeah, where it was
Yeah.
it was something that his mom sewed from man-made materials, but he had an invulnerability shield around it due to part of his powers. And so you could
His
tell that his
bugs and
powers were
stuff don't
depleted.
stick to him
Yeah, that too.
when he's
So you could
flying.
tell-
Yeah.
You could tell that he was dying and his energy was being depleted, his powers were being depleted because of the fact that that shield was wearing off. So now he was like half naked fighting Doomsday and stuff.
Right.
So in this
Okay.
version, Superman sees Doomsday coming after Lois Lane
Okay.
and about to kill him, and Lois stands up against Doomsday, throwing rocks at him and stuff. And Superman sees Doomsday, and he does basically a supersonic fly into him, punching him so hard it causes Doomsday's head to turn 180 degrees and snap his neck.
Damn.
In
That's
the
some Snyder
process,
shit.
yeah. In the process, Superman is impaled by Doomsday's spike, but it's all to save the woman he loves.
Mm-hmm.
And Lois tells him that he saved everyone, and Superman says, "It's all I ever wanted, except you. What a lucky man I was." And then he
Well,
dies.
damn.
So emotional.
So it is a hell of a scene.
I think Superman can get a little violent with fighting Doomsday.
Yeah,
I think
I'd
we
say
can
so.
have him. We could even have a Zod neck snap with Doomsday if we wanted. You know, it'd be all right.
I think everybody excuses this one. I don't think there's
Yeah.
anybody online being
Yeah.
like, "You could have locked up Doomsday." I'm like, well, "No, you couldn't have.
Yeah.
You
No,
really
he's-
couldn't have."
maybe a Phantom Zone, but even then,
Yeah, prepare to you say goodbye to everyone else you put in the Phantom Zone at that point.
he's gonna kill everybody.
kill everybody
Doomsday
in
would
the
kill
Phantom
everybody in the Phantom Zone. So this is the problem
Yeah.
that we have.
Sorry, Zod.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn it.
So perhaps, yeah, a little violent when it comes to Doomsday.
So let's then vote on what our favorite is out of these in terms of the deaths. We have the original comic where Doomsday fights the B-Team Justice League, then sees a wrestling promo and decides he has to fight Superman in Metropolis, and then they punch each other to death. Then we have Superman Doomsday where there's no Justice League fight. Superman and Doomsday fight just in Metropolis, and then they basically do the ultimate suplex, is what you were talking about, dropping from the Earth's atmosphere.
Yes.
BVS, the fight brings the DC Trinity together to eventually inspire the Justice League. Superman uses the Kryptonite Spear, gets impaled by Doomsday's bone thing. And then the death of Superman, where the entire A-list Justice League is injured. Superman saves Lois Lane by flying so hard into Doomsday, it snaps the guy's neck with the super punch.
Well, you make me want to watch The Death of Superman then, because that sounds like the best version out of all of them. It's like taking the best ideas from all of the other versions and putting them together. And I guess that was the current Justice League of the time, because I can't believe they wouldn't have thought, for such a big event, for such a big threat, you wouldn't already include all the traditional Justice League members to show how powerful, Doomsday is. So that sounds really cool. I'm going to watch it.
Andrew?
I love silly things, so I'm going with the comic version. And after hearing Zach's rendition of the dialogue, yes, definitely the comics version for me.
I am going to side with. I know Zach was just hearing it, but as someone who saw it, my vote is for the Death of Superman movie because of just how emotional it is. Especially when you see the full context of Lois Lane seeing this man sacrifice himself, who had just told her who he really was.
Right.
And that's what happens when you have. I think the advantage of the Death of Superman 2018 movie is you have this whole movie to set this up.
Right.
As opposed to Superman Doomsday, where it's just like, we got to make this happen in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Or BVS, where it's just like, oh, we're doing the Death of Superman, I guess. So in the final third act.
Yeah.
And here it's like, you know the whole thing's leading up to it.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen because it's in the title and you know the comic, or you at least have an idea of what happened in the comic. And I think it's portrayed so well and unexpectedly too, because I was just like, okay, another adaptation. And I know what's going to happen. But then it's just like, even when you know what's going to happen, it doesn't change the emotions that come up with it. So my vote is for the Death of Superman. So
nice. That's with the suplex.
That's the super punch.
Super punch. Okay, I
snap.
got you.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got 1 point for the comic, 1 point for Snyder, 1 point for the Death of Superman.
Were you planning on
0
having
Zero
this
for
point
Joss
system
Whedon.
for this one?
0 points for Joss Whedon.
We want to emphasize that the most.
No, I wasn't planning on the points because I didn't know how you guys would vote.
And here we are.
And yet here we are, so we still don't know. On that, one bonus then, do you have a preference for Superman's last words? We have a choice between the comic where he's like, Doomsday, is he? We have, in the first animated movie, that's all that matters when it comes to saving people. We have Superman doing his last words before he even goes into the final fight with Doomsday, saying, this is my world, you are my world, in BVS. And then we have this last one with the Death of Superman where he says, it's all I ever wanted except you. What a lucky man I was.
Zach.
Any preferences?
That one right there, the last one.
Last one? Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. The last one is really hits hard, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Too. It's the only one where he expresses pretty much everything that all the other versions were trying to express in terms of caring about other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus his love for Lois. It's like a combination of the comic book version and the BVS one. So
the Snyder one, when it says "You are my world" or whatever, it's pretty good too, just because it kind of hints at like him having to choose worlds, or he didn't really have it, but it was sort of there in Man of Steel with him and Zod, and it's, especially in your rewrite that was in a Patreon, I think, that we did.
Episode,
you know, if they did that one, it would have really like your version would have sent that line further.
That's true,
right?
Yeah.
So yeah. That's my second pick.
I'd say, that's my second choice as well.
Yeah.
Especially because it's the power of that, and he's like, he knows he's about to die, and he says that as a way to say goodbye to her. That's definitely a good one.
Yeah.
So, Snyder, close second on that. But anyway, that now puts 2 points for the Death of Superman.
Okay.
Movie. Pretty good considering Zach hasn't seen it.
I might rewatch it. It's been years. I saw it years and years ago.
Thank you guys for doing research for this episode.
Sorry, man. We're learning with the audience.
I read the books. Andrew watches the cartoons.
You read the comic books like an adult.
Ben's reading the real adult stuff. There's no pictures in that book he's got right there.
What is going on here, man?
There's nothing. It's
How
all
do you even do
prose.
it? I feel like fucking Gaston.
No.
There's no words. There's no pictures in here.
It is a tale as old as time, the death and return of Superman. So when we
By
come back
the
from the
way,
break,
in the Kevin Smith Hollywood Babylon, that song makes what's his host's name? Ralph Garman. Makes him cry on command.
Really?
They talk about that and they make fun of him. Oh, it's hilarious. If he hears a tell as old a time, they tested it. He starts crying in the podcast. It triggers him like that. Anyway.
Well, Ralph, if you're listening to this,
we met you once.
Sorry about that.
We met Ralph Garman briefly.
We did,
briefly,
yes.
yeah.
His
He was
amazing
cool.
Adam West impression. So, Superman is dead. What's going to happen next? Well, we're going to return with the return of Superman next week. So stay tuned for that, and we will have the final tally on which one is the best version of the death and return of Superman. And that is superhero stuff you should know. Cool, so we have a few fan comments that we want to go over. First is from David Santos, who basically addressed our topic on Jumpa from the Themyscira episode. Jumpa being the kangaroo that Wonder Woman was riding. David says, quote, the point of the kangaroos was that they represented motherhood, which I guess makes sense given the pouch in the front.
Yes, I think that's what that's about.
Yeah.
Right?
So everything that Marston wrote about was about femininity, say that 3 times, femininity and power, which I think we also pretty clearly addressed during the episode. So
Yeah.
thank you, David, for that insight. We hadn't thought about that before, but thank you.
They're still silly.
Yeah, even something as kind of silly as that, there's still a sort of a deeper meaning there. I mean, any animal can be a symbol for, because mothers in obviously every species, almost every species of animal, but to have like a physical pouch, a marsupial, there's something to that, especially physically. I don't know if she's ever, is there anything ever inside the pouch while they're jumping?
That's how she rides it, right? She gets in the pouch and the kangaroo jumps around.
Remember in the Simpsons episode where they go to Australia, they jump in, and then they're like, oh, it's all sticky. It's not like in the cartoons or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, man.
Thank you, David, for pointing that out.
Yes, that's an awesome comment.
Next one is from John Irons with a Z.
Any relation?
And that's a name that will be very relevant for the next episode. But anyway, John Irons was commenting on the interview that we had with Lee and Janet Scott Batchelor, who were the writers on Batman Forever, who talked about how they couldn't really find an origin story for Riddler. John Irons brings up, quote, the animated series gave the Riddler an origin story before Forever, which is true. That came out in 1992.
Right.
A few years, right the same year that Batman Returns came out, so it's not like the Batchelors weren't already, writing it when the episode came about.
Yeah, they were contacted probably around that time.
Yeah. But I would also say that they were probably given comics to look at, not the cartoon and stuff. They might not, because again, they didn't have HBO Max to tune into in 1983 to be like, okay, there's this episode we can just randomly find.
They were probably they probably could have been like, could you send me a VHS of that cartoon? But maybe that didn't even happen. They're like, you got the comics.
I feel like though that Two-Face's death is very similar to how he's defeated in Two-Face Part 2 of the animated series. I always thought that was really close.
Yes, but I would say the cartoon didn't originate that with the coins.
Yeah,
That must be from the comics, right?
Just throwing a bunch of coins in his face?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why didn't I think of this earlier?
Yeah.
So he's like, damn it.
And this way it kills him, kind of. Whew. One less idiot in Gotham. Or 2 less idiots, anyway.
And then the last comment is from Daniel Diaz talking about our Batman musical.
Oh
episode.
yeah, one of my favorites. Yeah. Personally, just because it's so, the songs are out there and it's just like almost completely made. And anyway, Batman musical goes.
That's what our podcast is for that type of project.
Yeah.
So Daniel Diaz says, "quote If I had the time, ambition, and effort, I would happily attempt to make a (parentheses cheap) stage version of this."
Yeah.
So we would love to see it, Daniel, if you're able to do that.
That's
but
awesome. Yeah.
You would need the time, ambition, and effort.
Yeah.
So, anyways. Thank you for that. Over to you, Andrew.
Okay, great. Okay, so thank you for those comments. And also thank you to our Patreon supporters, everybody, who are Shasta Leomo, Jose Arrocha, Super Inframan, Douglas P., Dan D., Aaron Willett, Nick Noir, Jesse E., Jeffrey R., Sketchcraft, Scott V., Yuli, and we want to thank our other supporters who are Sparkageddon, STCT Productions, Robert Schumann, Kooky Noms, Matt Herring, Elijah B., Shamrock Balls, Ian H., Walter the Wobot, John Wells, and Rye Guy. Also, please join the Shasta Army. That is our $1 tier, gets you the shout out. But then we have the $5 tier on patreon.com/superherostuffpod, and that gets you a whole other show where we do the deeper dive, sometimes me, mostly Ben, learning with the audience as usual. Yeah, that's a whole other show every Friday. And just a lot more content there. And then go to superhousepod.redbubble.com and you can get Superhouse merch, Superhouse shirts, superhero stuff you should know shirts, and stuff like that, mugs and everything like that, and Indeed Wizard and Bin Man stuff. The illustrations drawn by Wolfie Cruz, and also you can get merch on tpublic.com/user/superhousepodcast5000. Also, superherostuffpod.threadless.com. You can get merch on there. Please leave us a review on iTunes, and also please record us some kind of audio on your audio recorder on your phone, and then send that to superhousepodcast@gmail.com. And you too can be on the show. It can be anything. Doesn't have to be your own sketch or whatever. It can just be love the show or whatever. Or you're now listening to Superhero Stuff You Should Know. Anything like that would be great. And also, please animate our sketches if you want. If you do
listen to them.
Yeah, if you do listen to them. For the 3 people out there that listen to our sketches, if you're also an animator, please animate that shit and put a hashtag for our show in the corner somewhere in the video itself. That's the only thing we ask of you, and to just let us know that it exists. If you make it. I'm Thunderwolf Drew on Instagram and Twitter. Also, ThunderwolfLives.com. Thunderwolf Lives on YouTube for all my other shit that I do. And that's it, Ben.
You can find us on Twitter at SuperhousePod. You can also find us on Instagram at SuperheroStuffPod. And we are on Vero now. Find us at Superhero Stuff Pod, where we do plan to try to talk to Snyder.
Where we try to get Snyder's attention every day.
Yes.
Hey, look at me. We exist every single day. But there's actually a good chance on Vero because nobody's on there.
Yeah. So,
there's probably more people that listen to our sketches
than people who are on Vero. There's definitely more people who listen to our sketches than people who follow us on Vero. So right now, as of this recording, we only have like 1 follower. We're trying to up that, so please get on Vero and follow us.
Oh, man.
Anyway, my website is ben1writer.com, and my YouTube channel is in the description below. You can also check out earlybird.com, which is the kids comic that I wrote. That's earl-e-bird.com. My personal Instagram is ben1writer. My cat's Instagram is Alfie Pennyworth Cat, and if you have a cat as well, we are affiliates with Whiskerbox. Come get a box every month for your little feline friend. And if you don't have a cat but you have a dog, then we are also affiliates with BarkBox.
Indeed. You get a discount for both, especially the $35 off for the BarkBox one through our link. So
first month is free, right?
First month is free. The first month
is free, yeah. So check that out. You can check us out at superhousepod.com/shop. There we go.
And Amazon, all our Amazon link shit too.
Yes. Over to Zach.
I can't wait till we are affiliates with Tushy. I mean, I hear that on the other podcast, so I can't wait till we start talking about it.
Did you get a Tushy?
I did not, but I like hearing the commercials about it.
Don't forget about Manscaped.
Manscaped, yeah, it's another one. Yeah.
Well, if you would like to see more of me, and by me I just mean my artwork, just like the artwork that is behind Andrew's shoulders right now, there you go, his head was blocking it, but that's all right. If you want to see more of that, you can go to my website at ZacharyJacksonBrownArt.com, and you can also follow me on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Just look up Zachary Jackson Brown Art.
Awesome. So, we have covered the death of Superman. For the $5 Patreon tier, we will be covering a more in-depth take on it in terms of covering Doomsday, different versions of Doomsday that we didn't talk about in this episode, different versions of the death of Superman, that
Baby
type of
Doomsday.
Stuff. Baby Doomsday. Gaga Doomsday. So, and that'll be the name of the episode. So, deeper dive into Doomsday. But for those into the main show, we are going to return with the return of Superman and discussing the reign of the Supermen and the inevitable resurrection of Superman. How did he come back? Find out next week.
Such good segues. Signing off.
Ben signing off.
This is Zach signing off.
Oh, and do us a favor. Tell all your friends about us. Forgot about that one.
I didn't want to say anything and mess up the whole flow, but I was thinking about it.